Every day we meet number of people using if in their normal conversation. Why only they? Even we use if number of times to keep ourselves on the safe side. We'll often hear people saying, if you pay attention, you will pass. If you pay attention, you will understand better. Don't touch that hot object. You'll get burned if you touch it. If it rains tomorrow, I'll not go to school. I'll convey the message if I see him or meet him. If I had enough money, I would have bought a bungalow. So if everywhere. If has become a part of our life. So what's this if? If is a state, if is a condition which we use to keep ourselves on a safe side. So today we are going to deal with this if. What actually is this if, how it is used, and how do they behave in a sentence. So welcome back everyone. Once again I am here with yet another type of subordinate clause called conditional clause. This conditional clause is not a separate type of subordinate clause. It is actually a type of an adverb clause. So let's begin with the conditional sentences. Before I move on to the definition of conditional sentences, let's know what a condition is. A condition is something that needs to be fulfilled before something else can happen or any other event that can take place. Same applies for the conditional sentence also. So what is a conditional sentence? A conditional sentence is a sentence in which one of the clauses lays down a condition for the actions expressed in the second clause to be performed. The clause that lays down the condition is called as the conditional clause or the if clause, and the clause that is affected by the condition of the conditional clause is called as main clause. So let's begin with the types of the conditional sentences. There are two types of conditions possible. One that is likely to take place and other that will never take place. The condition that is likely to take place are called as probable conditions, and the condition that will never be fulfilled, never take place, are called as improbable conditions. There are two types of probable conditions, that is your type 0 and type 1, and this condition talks about the present situation. Whether now or in near future, the condition is definitely going to be fulfilled, or there is a possibility of the condition to be fulfilled. So both the types uses simple present tense in their conditional clauses. Talking about improbable conditions are those conditions which will never be fulfilled, and hence they talk about past events. Why? Because those actions or those conditions were supposed to be fulfilled or supposed to have taken place, but they did not take place. Those events did not ever occur. We only kept on thinking and talking about it, but it did not happen or occur. So we use past tense in type 2 and type 3 types of conditional clauses. Both type 2 and type 3 belong to improbable types of condition which is not likely to be fulfilled. When we talk about conditional sentences, four things are to be kept in mind. The first thing, there are four types of conditions possible: type 0, type 1, type 2 and type 3. The second thing, it is very important to use the correct structure for each type of the clauses, because each type of the clause has different meaning. Type 0 differs from type 1 and type 2 differs from type 3. So the structure also differs. Since their meaning differs, their structure also differs. You can see here in type 0 we use simple present tense in both the clauses. In type 1 we use simple present tense in the if clause and simple future tense in the main clause. Coming to type 2, we have simple past tense in the if clause and should, could, would, might, the past form of the future verbs plus first form of the verb. Same way in type 3, we have past perfect tense in the if clause and same would, should, could, might in the perfect form. That is would, should, could, might plus have plus verb third form. So it is very important to use the correct structure for each type and understand the structure of each type. Not only this, we have to pay attention to the verb tenses. As I showed you, the tense is different in if clause and the tense is different in the main clause. So verb tenses are very important to be kept in mind. Coming to the fourth and most important point is use of a comma. We need to use a comma when the if clause precedes the main clause, means if clause comes before the main clause. If clause comes after the main clause, there is no need to put comma. It can be written in a straightforward way. But if clause begins the sentence and main clause follows it, it needs to be separated by a comma. Why this comma is important? Because your conditional clause is a subordinate clause and it begins with conjunction. So when I write main clause in the beginning and I have a conjunction somewhere in the sentence that introduces the later part of the sentence, that is your subordinate clause, I know where the main clause ends and where the subordinate clause begins. But if I begin the subordinate clause with a subordinating conjunction, I should know where it ends. So for that reason, we separate the subordinate clause with a comma when it begins the sentence. I hope this is clear. Now coming to the details of each type. Here you can see each type with their names, pattern and examples are mentioned. Now let's see how each type of conditional clauses differ from one another. The first type is type 0. This type of conditional clause deals with universal truth, the general truths, means which was true for all the time. For yesterday, that is past time, it is true for today and will be true for the future time. Whatever condition is laid down is definite to be fulfilled. Whatever condition is laid down will definitely be fulfilled or that condition will be satisfied. And hence both the conditions are satisfied. We use simple present tense in both the structure, that is your if clause as well as the main clause. The pattern that I use for type 0 is if plus subject plus simple present tense. I will use simple present tense in the if clause, that is your conditional clause, and in the main clause also I am going to use simple present tense. Why? Because this is definitely going to be fulfilled. Look at the example. If you sit in sun, you get tan. If you sit in strong sun, you are definitely going to get tan and that tanning is visible. You appear to be very dark. And if you sit in mild sun, then also you will get some tanning, maybe not visible, but tanning is there. If you are exposed to sun, some or the other tanning will be there, whether visible or not. So you see, I have used simple present tense sit. If I sit in the sun, tanning is definite. So I have used again a simple present tense in the main clause. Coming to the next example, if we heat water at 100 degrees centigrade, it boils. Under normal circumstances, under normal temperature and pressure, the water will boil at 100 degrees centigrade. So since again the condition is definite to get fulfilled, again I am using simple present tense in both the clauses. That is your if clause as well as the main clause. Coming to type 1, the second type of conditional clause, that is type 1, it deals with open condition. What do we understand by open condition? Open condition is a condition, if one condition is fulfilled, there is a possibility of the other condition to be fulfilled. In type 0, the fulfillment of the condition was confirmed, means it will definitely take place. But when we come to type 1, the possibility of the condition to be fulfilled increases. How? Let us see in the example. If I invite him, he may come. Generally, we visit places from where we get the invitation. We just don't go and attend the party or anything without invitation. And it is also not necessary that if I get an invitation, I will go. I'll definitely go. It is also not necessary. It all depends on the circumstances or the conditions. But if I get an invitation, there is more possibility of attending that party. So if I invite him, he may come. The if clause is simple present tense and your main clause is simple future tense. One more thing to be kept in mind is if clauses uses present or past tense. We have already seen present tense for probable conditions and past tense for improbable conditions. So if clauses are going to use present tense or past tense, but the main clause will always use models. The present form of models in probable conditions and the past form of models in improbable conditions. That is why we have used the word may in this. You can also write he will come. If I invite him, he will come. That is also correct. Right? So we have to keep in mind that the main clause will use models will, shall, can and may either in the present form or the past form. Look at another example. If you work hard, you will get success. If you work hard, if I work hard, that is a simple present tense, and will get success, again simple future tense. So what is the format for type 1 conditional? That is if plus subject plus simple present tense. In the if clause I will have simple present tense, whereas in main clause I will have will, shall, can or may, which are parts of the models, plus verb first form. Models always uses first form of the verb. Coming to type 2, imaginary or hypothetical conditions. So type 2 expresses unrealistic or improbable conditions that are not likely to be fulfilled in future. It uses, since it cannot be fulfilled, the pattern will use simple past tense in the if clause and the past form of the models in the main clause. Your pattern is if plus subject plus simple past will give you subject plus would, should, could, might plus verb first form. Since we have seen simple present tense uses simple future tense, same way simple past tense will use the past form of models with verb first form. Coming to example, if I had money, do I have money? No. If I had money, it clearly indicates a hypothetical situation or unrealistic situation where I don't have money right now. If I don't have money, I would buy a house, means I cannot buy a house. If I had money, I would buy a house. So this is your hypothetical situation or unrealistic situations which will never be fulfilled. Since I don't have money, I cannot buy a house, nor I can think of buying a house. Second, if I were a bird, I could fly. If I were a bird, am I a bird? No. Do I have wings? No. Even if I fly or glide, like some of you may say, ma'am, we can glide using paragliding and parachutes and all. Yes, you can. But those are not wings. Those are not called flying. Flying means you can move in any direction according to your wish, which is not true with those paragliding instruments. If I were a bird, I could fly. Neither I am a bird nor I could fly. This is also an imaginary situation. If such imaginary situation arises, we are going to use plural verbs, not the singular verbs. If it were a Sunday, is it a Sunday? No. If it were a Sunday, I would have gone to movie. But it is not a Sunday, and it is not necessary the coming Sunday you are going to watch the movie. Right now you are in a mood to go movie, but you cannot, because it is not a Sunday. So for such imaginary situations, we use plural verbs, verb, not singular verbs. Like, take one more example. If he were my teacher, you admire a teacher, but that teacher doesn't teach you. You admire a teacher, but that teacher doesn't teach you. So what happens? You just imagine, if he was my teacher, I would have done this, that, I would have understood better, I would have learned better. But neither he is your teacher, nor you are in a condition to do better based on his teaching. So such sentences where imaginary situations are there and cannot be fulfilled, we use plural verbs with that. If I were a bird, I could fly. Coming to the last type of the conditional clause, that is your type 3 conditional clause, which is again unfulfilled hypothetical situations. Now in type 3, we talk about the wish and desire. Those wish and desire which remains unfulfilled, which are not fulfilled. I can only think of, but those conditions can never be fulfilled. In fact, in such situations, the speaker speaks the sentence in a retrospect. Retrospect means those conditions which was likely to happen but actually did not happen. You will understand it better with the help of examples. First, look at the pattern. For unfulfilled hypothetical conditions, we use if plus past perfect tense. We are going to use past perfect tense because we are talking about the results. If you have watched my tense video, you might have come across the perfect tenses deals with the results of the action. Action is already over, but the result of that action is implied or connected with the present time. So I am going to use if plus past perfect for unfulfilled hypothetical condition, that is unfulfilled wish or desire. And again the same past form of the models would, should, could, might plus perfect form, that is have plus verb third form. This is the format or pattern for unfulfilled hypothetical conditions type 3. Have a look at the example. If I had worked hard. If I had worked hard. Did I work hard? No. I would have passed. So if I had worked hard, I would have passed. Here, if I had known that I will fail in exam, I would have definitely worked hard. But I was overconfident. No, I will pass. I have studied a lot. I have done my best. So I am going to pass. How can I fail? But what happens? The paper that came was very tricky. I could not understand the question. I could not answer the questions, and hence I failed. And why I could not answer the question or understand the question? Because I took it lightly. I was in my own world dreaming that I will do well. I did not work hard. So after I got the result, I realized that I was wrong. After getting the result, now I am thinking I would have acted differently. Instead of being overconfident and being lethargic, I could have worked hard. I could have paid more attention towards my studies. So I would have done it better. But did I actually do it? No. Since I did not do it, and now after getting the result, it is not possible to change the same result. I will work hard for the next exam. Whatever hard work I'll put in is for the next exam. Can I change this result? No. Even if I work hard today, will this result will change? No. So what actually it means? It talks about those actions which could have been done in the past, but it was not done. If I had worked hard, I would have passed. Neither I worked hard nor I passed. If I had walked fast, I might have caught the bus. Definitely walking fast does not guarantee that you will catch the bus. But if you know that you are late and you may miss the bus, you need to walk fast. But did I walk fast? No. I thought I'll reach, but I got stuck up somewhere in the traffic, or due to any reason I left my house late, whatever may be the reason. I did not catch the bus. That is the fact. So neither this action took place nor that condition was satisfied. This is all about the conditional sentences. I hope you have enjoyed the video, you have liked the video and understood the concept as well. If you still have any doubt, please mention it in the comment box and I'll try to solve all your doubts. With this, we come to an end of this class. See you in the next video. Till then, keep waiting, keep working hard, studying hard. May God bless you and all the best for your exams. Bye-bye.